senior members of the presidency, our General Secretary, our Chairman of the NDC, distinguished commissioners of the National Development Planning Commission, invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor for me to inaugurate and swear in the 8th National Development Planning Commission members. Established under Articles 86, 87 of the 1992 Constitution, the Commission's mandate was further reinforced by Act 479 of 1994. These provisions empower the Commission to prepare national development plans, monitor and evaluate the performance of government programs, and provide informed advice to the President and Parliament through rigorous research and policy analysis. This is a significant mandate that demands broad consultation and active engagement with citizens across all sectors of society. Over the years, the Commission has upheld this responsibility, and I trust that under your leadership, it will continue to do so with renewed diligence, integrity, and commitment. Article 36(5) of the Constitution enjoins the President to present a coordinated program of economic and social development policies to Parliament within 2 years of assuming office. Since 1994, this task has been carried out in close collaboration with the Commission. And I'm pleased to note that preparations are underway for my administration's next coordinated program. My office stands ready to support this important process, as the program will reflect not only the vision and policy priorities of this government, but also the collective aspirations of the Ghanaian people. This coordinated program will also be the foundation for the following medium-term national development policy framework, as has been the practice. This framework will guide the operations of ministries, departments, agencies, and metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies over the next 4 years. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to briefly address an issue of growing national interest, and that is the urgent call for a long-term national development plan. Ghanaians increasingly demand a stable and predictable path for national development that transcends our electoral cycles and partisan politics. Here I'm reminded of the words of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in his visionary 7-year development plan, and he stated, "The economic policies will lack direction and consistency unless they are firmly related to a clear vision of the structure of the economy towards which we are moving. It is only in the longer view," he said longer view, "that it is rational to project any really radical transformation of our economic system." And he goes on to say, "In the very short period, we remain prisoners of our past." And so there already Nkrumah was projecting that we should have a longer view of our path of development. Indeed, nearly 70 years after independence, our economy continues to rely heavily on a narrow range of primary commodities with limited diversification and value addition. This reality reflects the persistence of structural constraints that continue to hold us back, proof that in many respects we remain, as Nkrumah said, prisoners of our past. Since the completion of the 40-year National Development Plan in 2017, under the leadership of Dr. Ni Mwe Thompson, not Moy, Ni Mwe Thompson, who now returns to chair the Commission, other frameworks with similar long-term ambitions have emerged. Notable among these are the Ghana Beyond Aid Charter, the Ghana at 100 Long-Term Development Framework, and the Vision 2057 Perspective Framework. I urge the Commission to consolidate all these various efforts into a coherent, inclusive, and forward-looking national development plan. This must be done in close collaboration and consultation with Parliament and the people's representatives to ensure that the final plan reflects a broad national consensus and is subject to regular review in response to evolving domestic and global challenges. The task before you is immense, but I'm confident in your collective expertise, experience, and commitment. Let us work together to deliver a development plan that charts a bold and transformative path for our dear nation, Ghana, and one that will guide future generations and liberate us from the limitations of our past. I congratulate you on your appointments, and I wish you success in your work ahead, and may your work be fruitful to guide Ghana into a future of immeasurable possibilities. I thank you, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Thank you for entrusting us with such an important responsibility. And on behalf of all the commissioners, I'd like to pledge our commitment to fulfill to the best of our ability the duties and obligations that come with this responsibility. I would also like to take the opportunity to shed more light on the structure and work of the Commission for the benefit of the media as well as the general public. There are 37 commissioners, a reduction from 49 in the past. It may still seem large, but they work through 8 subcommittees in the following areas: the economy, with the focus on fiscal and monetary policies. And here, I'd like to give a nod to the 2 men of the moment, Dr. Forsen and Dr. Johnson Esiama. We will be working closely with them in drawing on their experience and knowledge. The number 2 is transport and logistics, which will be critical to the development of a 24-hour economy. Number 3, energy and private sector development. Number 4, agriculture and natural resources. 5, employment, productivity and earnings. 6, public sector reforms and governance. 7, social development. And 8, infrastructure and land use. And we put land use there because of the critical role of land acquisition and land use in infrastructure development. Through the work of the committees and research done by the technical staff, the Commission is expected to advise you, Mr. President, as it has been doing for successive presidents since 1994. But the law also requires the Commission to provide a wider platform for Ghanaians from all walks of life, including parliamentarians, political parties, faith-based organizations, sector ministries, district assemblies, traditional authorities, civil society organizations, think tanks, and individuals who have something to say about their country, Ghana, among others, to contribute to national development planning for the long, medium, and short terms. It is a comprehensive framework that blends popular demands with structured research. No one is left out. Besides development planning, Mr. President, Commission is also mandated to monitor and evaluate the performance of government. This is done through what we call annual progress reports, which include a wealth of information, but sadly remain very obscure. We will change that under this Commission, while also digitizing the process to give the public the chance to do what is called civic auditing, that is, the public's chance to monitor the performance of government in real or near real time. Last but not the least in importance is the Commission's role as the brain trust of government on a variety of topics of relevance to Ghana's development agenda. And here I would just like to highlight a couple of them. One of them has to do with the need for us to put a human face to development. For too long, we've heard about GDP growth, and GDP growth, which remains very abstract to the public and even some professionals. What we've decided to do for the next Commission is to have what are called 3-dimensional or 3D approach to measuring economic performance, which means that we'll measure growth in GDP, we'll measure growth in employment, and we'll measure growth in wages. These are the things that are most relevant to the public and not just mere statistics. And running through all this will be productivity. And I'm glad here I would like to quote you, Mr. President, from something you said last year during the campaign. You said, Ghana must function efficiently. This is the most intuitive definition of the word productivity as used by economists. And this productivity, that is, sets the rich countries apart from the poor ones. The average American farmer, for example, produces over $100,000 US, $100,000 output per year, while his Ghanaian counterpart produces only about $3,000. That's the difference in productivity. The average American worker produces about $80 an hour. This is why they are able to pay them $10, $12 an hour, while a typical Ghanaian worker produces about $5 an hour. To close this development gap, this must change, and the Commission stands ready to lead in that regard. And then, of course, Mr. President, there's the issue of local economic development, which I know is very close to your heart. I'm aware of your passion for that. Among other things, the Commission intends to revive what was known as the District Business Climate Survey. This was done with the assistance of the Germans. They provided us with technical assistance. I intend to revive it, and I intend to go to Atto and Johnson for money to make it permanent so that once the donors leave, it wouldn't die. But this is meant to give us a pulse of the health of local economies. And at the same time, we also intend to work with the Bank of Ghana, the Ghana Association of Banks, and other relevant stakeholders for us to do for the first time a breakdown of business credit, not just by sector as it is done now, but also by regions and district assemblies, so that at any given point in time, we know how much credit, business credit, is going to each and every district. And those that then lag behind can be brought to the attention of the government, and the government would take appropriate action. In this regard, Mr. President, I wish to commend you for your recent decision to give back district assemblies the responsibility to manage their own sanitation. We need more of such decentralization. The practice of procuring goods and services for district assemblies from Accra does not only undermine the ability of these district assemblies to manage their own affairs, but it also constitutes the extraction and repatriation, if I may use my old Marxist language, they constitute the extraction and repatriation of wealth from district assemblies around the world to Accra. It aggravates inequality and undermines the constitutional objective of equitable development. And so we will do everything in our power and within our mandate, Mr. President, to support you to further deepen this major step in decentralization. I thank you once again on behalf of my fellow commissioners.